Aye. So it's not been confirmed by James, but nothing gets confirmed. I thought he was giving the finger there.
It kind of looks like it is. Yeah.
Nothing's confirmed by James. I've told you about the whole subreddit, the Cinemassacre Truth. No. So I mean, one of the reasons people like James is he isn't your typical sort of like terminally online gamer bro type of guy. He's just a kind of quiet little film nerd. And that was kind of like one of the things that was his appeal. You know, he wasn't really getting on arguments on Twitter and stuff like that, and he still doesn't.
Despite acting as an argumentative character.
He's actually pretty mellow in real life. Whereas like Mike Mattei is 100% that terminally online. If you tweet at him calling him a wanker, he'll tweet you back like telling you fucked your mum and stuff like that.
We'll do that. We'll tweet him now and see if we get a reply back.
I'll go get my phone. I'll do it. So, long story short is Reddit is a dumpster fire anyway. But like so on the Cinemassacre subreddit, people had been criticising some of the recent like nerd stuff and asking questions like where's Bootsie gone all of a sudden and things like that. Because he used to be like in board games, he was like a main character and he was just gone. So people were just, I believe they weren't even being dicks about it. They were just kind of like, where's Bootsie?
Gently inquiring, yeah.
And Mike was like deleting comments about stuff like that. So a lot of the fans went and made their own subreddit called the Cinemassacre Truth, and it's where a bunch of the memes have came from. Like I told you, like the 540 thing. They were playing, I think, Mega Man. And James is like, oh my god, it's 5:40, like I have to leave now. It's 5:40 right now, and all that. So like, all the memes are always like, it's like he'll be reviewing a game. He'll be like, it's like the pure bad AI voice. It's like, holy fuck, it's 5:40. I gotta get out of here. Although that Justin from Screenwave, the big fat guy, he's clearly in on it because he's uploaded some videos to the channel, like the Cinemassacre channel, at 5:40, deliberately and things like that. So anyway, people had asked, like, where's Bootsie, and then like Kyle, Justin, and Bootsie both like posted on the Cinemassacre Truth one. Both of them I thought were pretty like fair. They weren't like that bammy, but long story short is Bootsie never got paid for acting in any of the stuff. Never got paid for like the theme songs, like Tornado Rex, you've got nowhere to hide. You remember that?
I kind of, yeah.
A lot of there'd be like jingles for the board games, as if, and a lot of people. I thought they came from like adverts or something like that from when the games came, but no, Bootsie wrote them.
Oh, fair enough.
So you never get paid for any of those. You never get paid for anything basically, and he thought sort of he would get. Then when they sold it like on DVD and things like that, he thought he'd be getting a cut of that, and they never paid him for any of that. And basically, when he brought it up with Mike, apparently they just kind of had a falling out over it, and it was kind of as simple as that. Like him and Mike fell out. Apparently, him and James were sort of alright, but it was a bit awkward. Whereas him and Mike really don't like each other now. So that's kind of what happened with that. And then Kyle Justin, that's.
Oh, the guy who wrote his theme song?
Yes. So his day job, he like renovates houses and crap like that.
Oh, cool.
So, you know how the nerd room now is way smaller?
The sort of basement?
Yeah, it's not a basement anymore. It's in his... So he moved house. That's not his basement anymore.
Oh.
It's in his garage.
Okay.
So it's one of those things that see once you kind of like are told about it, you'll notice it's way, way smaller. Okay. That's his whole behind the scenes video where he has like the tripods glued to the ceiling and stuff. That's the reason he did it, is because there's like a lot less floor space and crap. So anyway, basically Kyle Justin had built a bunch of sets for him, and he renovated his whole garage and made it into like his new nerd room, and James just like never paid him for it either, and it was one of those like really kind of, I can't remember how he explained it, but I think it was like one of those things where it sort of they didn't agree on like an amount
ahead of time.
Yeah, but he sort of phrased it in that way of like, I'm gonna do you kind of bro prices, but
or
even
exactly.
I don't know what the
thing is
agreement was. Even you cover the price of like the materials or some shit, and I'll do it for free.
It's
I
kind
don't
of
know.
implied. You don't get stuff for free.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
nothing.
But like because they like didn't have a contract or whatever, it was basically just like, oh, thanks, and just didn't pay him, and then it got apparently that got really awkward as well.
Well, that's really poor if that is true.
Yeah.
There's really no need for that because I mean this is basic like decency, isn't it? You pay someone for their time and work. I never accept a free gift like that. That's because that's not a gift, is it?
Yeah. Okay, I don't know what their agreement was, but I'm sure he was doing them a good. Yeah, like I said, like bro prices. He was getting mates rates, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, exactly. So he was getting it cheap than it would have been.
Yeah.
And if he left, especially if he left him out of pocket, that's obscene.
I wonder if.
So I'm sure he's not poor.
Who, Jimmy Rolfe? No, is he fuck? He said he made some points which are kind of valid about like a lot of like in his kind of like prime days it wasn't really monetizable on YouTube at the time.
So yeah,
which is fair enough. So his
big view years were maybe not.
He maybe didn't make what we thought he did, but even so, the channel now, the Cinemassacre channel, is worth like all the ad revenue and shit. It's worth like over $1 million a year it generates.
Wow,
like it's worth a lot of money. That's why.
Actually, that's not a surprise. They've got like what?
I think
easily a
like
couple of million.
I think they're at 3 million now.
Exactly, a couple million subscribers. And yeah, there's guys with like 70 million and ludicrous numbers. But
the thing is about it as well, though, is it's a back catalogue that people keep going back to.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And rewatching and
so
stuff.
There's not. I don't even think I think if you never uploaded another video, we'd still probably get relatively high view numbers each year.
Yeah. Not freaking like PewDiePie numbers or any of that crap, but you do alright. It would
probably actually help him to disappear.
In a lot of ways, yeah, it would completely disappear for like a year and then just be like, oh, I'm back, bitches.
Yeah.
I think because one of his things about like my videos are really shit now, but if they weren't, you'd get like 1 or 2 a year. And I've said before, okay, do 1 or 2 a year, make them good, make it stuff you actually want to make. I'd rather see that rather than you just farting out a new AVGN episode. What was the one he did? He did one Glover just there. It was watchable. I would say it was above average by modern standards, but if he'd released it in like 10 years ago, it would have just been another episode. The one before that, SimCity, was actually not bad, but it wasn't funny, but it was just kind of interesting. He's talking about like you need to play the game like a complete like psychopath. You need to like don't have any of your train lines connect. You need one here and one there because like the way it generates money, the way the game works, like this is how you.
Incomplete lines are.
Yeah. He was like, don't try and actually make a functional city. That's not what we're doing here. So it was actually pretty interesting.
But like you say, it was probably a game he actually played for a start.
Yeah, number one.
And he had some interesting insights. Well, my mate Roy played The Sims for years and used to do things like basically trap a sim in a bathroom or something outside. Like an inescapable like chamber, and then they would die of starvation, and he would inherit all their money, and then he could just rinse and repeat the process. That was his sort of rags to riches kind of strategy when he played The Sims.
Money earner.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's weird, but okay, you know. I never played The Sims particularly.
No, me neither.
But it's like what James was saying there about disconnected train lines. Is it's like. It wasn't about making rational sense. It's about, the game was broken,
Yeah, like the way it makes like residential areas, so like schools and hospitals, but they don't earn you as much money as other places or something like that. So he's like, so tear them down, and you build like whatever it is.
So the people are living on the streets, but
yeah, something along those lines.
Because you've got nothing but high value earning, I don't know, fucking like hospitals and shit. Yeah.
So like I think he should just not do anything or not do anything to AVGN for like a year and then come back with something interesting, and because it's that way, it's just kind of embarrassing at this point, like when he's making jokes like it's like taking a shit, but then when you take a shit and you wipe your ass and it's like what?
Yeah,
it's just like like trying too hard to sort of. Yeah.
Whereas with genuine displeasure, he'd just be funny anyway.
Yeah. And before he was creative with like his swear words and shit, whereas
It's so
and I mean,
fucking sucking fucks.
yeah, and like the vocabulary is gonna kind of exhaust itself. I get that, but it's like it's like he tries too hard to write intelligent stuff now, and it just seems a bit out of character. Like I couldn't even get through his Kid Icarus review because he's just sitting talking about Greek myths and all that stuff, and it's sort of like, actually type of thing, and I just thought it was pish. But yeah, so that's why Jimmy Rolfe. That's why you don't see Kyle Justin anymore, and you don't see Bootsie anymore, and even Mike. Him and Mike are still pals, but you don't see Mike on the channel because he lives too far away from James now, and it's a pain in the arse.
Oh, there you go.
Because it took him 2 hours to drive there, but they're morons though, because it took him 2 hours to get there in rush hour traffic, and it's like, but
we'll film it like 6 in the morning or something. Or...
yeah, you're sort of creating a lot of your own problems here.
I mean, you're self-employed now. Surely, again, how much money do you need? This whole thing about you just whores for money now, so you've not got enough money. It's like when Jay Leno started trying to sell Doritos, like Bill Hicks did a whole routine about it. He's like, you're not making enough fucking money having your own chat show and all this. You got to sell Doritos for like $1 million of ad revenue.
So he's again. So I don't know what your boy the Nostalgia Critic's up to, other than I know he's still doing reviews and what have you. Like, I'm surprised he hasn't tried making films again. You know, even just like...
Ironically.
Well, no, I mean, just like a little short film on the side. Because he's got a big audience and crap like that. If he just... People would be curious to see it a bit. I don't mean like Kickassia or whatever, I mean like something smaller. Like, did you see his little... I think it was called The Review Must Go On or whatever, his little short when he brings back the Nostalgia Critic. Did you ever see that?
Kind of. It was years ago that he did that, so...
I mean, I thought that was alright. Some people think it's terrible. I don't. I actually thought it was quite good. Obviously, it's a bit sort of pretentious, talking about like bringing back your freaking internet reviewer character, but I did think it was pretty decent. So I wonder if he's done any more stuff. He should. Oh, who's this?
Fujitora. I mean, this is a self-made story. I actually forgot they put a cutscene to this. I'm pretty sure none of this happens. But it's still nice of them to put a kind of cutscene in. And Fujitora is pretty cool. He's got the mad like fucking Meteor like attack from Final Fantasy. You can just summon meteors like spontaneously. And he's got like a sword.
Is that his fruit? Did he eat a devil fruit?
Aye. And I'm not sure if he's blind or if he just never opens his eyes because he's so badass.
Yeah.
It's going to be an unfair
That's
disadvantage.
such a pure anime thing. It always annoyed me, you know, Orin from Final Fantasy X. Because like he'd carry his arm sort of in a sling as if it was hurt, but then
as soon as the fight starts,
he'd wield it with
exactly.
Like, I never really got that.
This makes no sense. As a devil fruit, it's just insane. See what I mean? Just like chunks of the sun flying off at people. Yeah, exactly, because it's insane.
You know, some people believe that the sun is alive.
Well, it kind of is, I guess. As much alive as sort of the grass, I guess. Just because it's all fiery.
A lot of the thermodynamics of it and stuff don't really make much sense either. Something about like the way the heat comes off of it doesn't really make any sense. But I don't know. You need to look that up.
It's with science. That was kind of cool, I guess. Come on, this makes no sense. Hurry up. There we go. Back to the murdering. There was a Shamboz.
We used to know this boy. I can't remember his real name, but his name on Facebook was Gary Shamboz, as in like shambles, like but it was spelled Shamboz, Shamboz, and he was a fucking roaster. He was an absolute goon, right? One time, I forget who it was, but somebody was telling a story like, oh, I was taking a piss in the street and I ended up getting caught by the police cops and I got a £40 fine. And Gary Shamboz he was one of those guys that would always one up your story. He was like, mate, that's nothing. I got a £40 fine one time for running about naked with a machete, and the police gave it to me. I just ripped it up and I flung it in his face and he done nothing. And I'm like, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
If you were running about naked with a machete, you wouldn't get a £40 fine. You get put in some type of mental hospital or something like that. They'd be like, what on earth are you doing, me man?
Pretty sure he's actually still game exactly.
Oh, aye, he's jumping about
talking about George Square.
Yeah.
Naked.
And he didn't even have a machete.
Exactly.
But Gary Shamboz had a machete, you know, he got was a £40 fine. And then he was claiming that he'd like pumped this girl that she wasn't at the party yet, she was about to turn up. And it was that way, it was like, oh, don't mention it, but well, like, how not? He was like, oh, because like folk, I wasn't meant to tell folk or something like that, but it was just like, no, you're just a liar, it just never happened.
You're just a filthy liar. Can't he spread those kind of rumours?
Exactly. It's just creepy.
That is exactly.
And then it was that way.
Boys.
They sort of fell out with his pal. I didn't really know him, but like my friends knew him.
Right.
And then they sort of fell out for some reason. And he put on a Facebook post like, "You's better just watch. If I see any yous about, I'll remind you why they call me Shamboz." It was just one of those like trying so hard to sound tough.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Oh my god, you know who that is? That's the Gary Shamboz. He got a £40 fine for running about naked with a machete. People are scared to utter his names. Like every pub in the west coast of Scotland, like his name is spoken with admiration and fear.
Just utter relevance.
Aye. He's a goon. Honestly, he's one of those guys. I might go look him up after this, see what he's up to. Probably nothing.
Did you ever reach out to that DJ?
Gary McKev?
DJ Gary McKev.
Oh no, I meant to. I'll do that. I'll do that. I was going to email him because I like to make a short documentary about PC DJing, disses and all that.
Come on, kill these guys. Get around. So many guys who want to get murdered. Mad
Gary Shamboz. Who else did I hate? Oh, I was watching Linkara earlier. Have you ever seen his review, his crossover with the Blockbuster Buster?
No.
Oh, it's a sight to behold. It is one of like... A lot of those videos are a bit sort of cringy when you go back to them, but even like by those standards, it's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. And the guy, the Blockbuster Buster, also known as Erod, I think his name's like Eric Rodriguez or something like that. He's like this tiny wee guy, but he's got like sort of Wolverine chops and like spiky hair. And he does what all of them do. He reviews Blockbuster films and busts them. But he's got a hammer, you know, like just like a pure builder's hammer, but it's got like the power of like Mjolnir, like Thor, and it's.
I think I've seen him actually.
He probably will have done.
Aye,
you'll have seen him like make a cameo or some push like that. He got raging. He still apparently, if you bring it up with him on Twitter, he'll still talk about it. He got raging of, you know, like To Boldly Flee.
Yeah.
He wanted Doug to write it in that basically he just shows up at the end and saves the day, and Doug was like, no, but I'll give you a little cameo, and apparently he still gets mad about that.
On what basis though?
Because his reviewer character is like so powerful that he could easily have saved the day if they had just asked them. But it's one of those things of like...
Back to like when we watched... What was Linkara's movie called again?
Just the top of the fourth wall of the movie.
Was it? Is that right? It didn't have any fancy title.
No.
That movie was fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like... This guy's got way more powers than Linkara. But it's along the same lines.
Aye, but he wasn't bigging him. Can't have been bigging himself up as much as Linkara was in his own movie.
No, I'd argue he does.
He does.
Yeah. They have a fight scene, quote unquote, and like this is what I mean by like they're sitting filming it in a hotel room, but I get that. That's like fine. Like you sort of, it comes with the territory. Like they're not in the same place at the same time very often.
Yeah.
They'll have been at like a convention or something. So stuff like that you can kind of excuse if they're just sitting there like slagging a film or whatever. But they try and have this like cinematic fight scene, but it just looks so awkward because it's like one of them sort of punching off camera. You know, because the other one will have been holding the camera, so it just looks terrible. And yeah, so they reviewed the 1966 Batman movie.
Oh yeah. With Adam West,
yeah. And it's just Linkara being a pure SJW. It's like there's a bit with like a bunch of bikini babes on a roof for no reason, and Linkara's sitting there getting all angry. He's like, it's totally their decision if they want to dance around on a rooftop in bikinis. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the male gaze. And all that patter. And it's just like, right, we get it, you're a feminist, okay, shut up. And then, there's just a pure speech at the end where it's like, it's just them pure sucking each other's dicks, basically. It's like, Erod's like, you're always copying me. I reviewed such and whatever, and then you reviewed such and whatever. And then Linkara's like, did you ever stop and think maybe we just think alike? Great minds. And then, you know, like when he leaves and he's like, what a magnificent bastard. Written by Erod. You know, so it's like, that's what I mean, like it's just awkwardly cringe. You're just like, man, no. And that dude Erod, when the whole change the channel thing was about, he was apparently like crying on live stream reading it out. He's like, and then he was getting
accusations.
And he was getting
none
raging.
of which were probably aimed at him.
Yeah, well, what initially he wrote out like, oh, I wasn't there for any of this. And then
despite being the most powerful hero.
But he wasn't at Channel Austin at the time, and then it's like, but then on Twitter people would be like, I think blah blah blah, change the channel, yeah, I think it's bad what they did. He was like, oh, you weren't there. It was almost as if he was gatekeeping, like having a problem with it type. I think he's a goon. He's an absolute goon. But it's one of those things like, I'll send you the link, it's because I'm pretty sure they're both it would have been on Blockbuster Buster's channel, not Linkara's, but I think both of them have kind of been like, what the hell were we smoking? Because it's like a re-upload channel.
Okay.
But I'll send you a link to it. It is hilariously bad. And it's stuff like, I forget the exact line, but Linkara says something like, well, you calm down. He goes like that, I'll calm down. All over your face. And then it's like the camera just stays there for like half a second too long, and it's things like that you're like, and like they edit in music from famous movies, which again at the time was kind of the humour.
Yeah, aye.
But they edit in, you know, the Empire March.
At the end credits and stuff was always pure rife with like
copyright music. Is that what it's called? Empire March? You know, the Star Wars.
I think so, yeah. Pretty, yeah.
You know, like he's saying something and that's on in the background, but like the audio quality's really terrible, as if it was like an illegal download he had, or he played it through a speaker and then recorded it on his phone, like type of, you know, it's things like that it's like the ineptitude. And the guy works, and I'm sure at the time, you know, did work at the time at a film school, so stuff like that, it's like, how do you not know better than this? Yeah, it's fascinating. It's fascinating. Because I watched
I've kind of failed to see how Doug came away so cleanly from that whole scenario.
The change the channel stuff.
Yeah.
A bunch of it got
redacted,
proven to be bollocks or at the very least very, very exaggerated.
Ah, well that's part of the problem then, isn't it?
They claimed that they knew Jewario was a beast for like 2 years before they sacked him, but actually that's complete bollocks. Like,
Did Jewario kill himself?
yes.
Oh, right, jeez, oh.
Whereas in actual fact it was like someone had said something about him, but it was unconfirmed for 2 years, and then when it was confirmed, he was gone the next day or something like that. So,
but it does feel a bit of dereliction of duty on their point for not investigating, because major companies getting big bother for not not dealing with whistleblowing like at the time.
Yeah,
there's no point in investigating something like that. But again, you can understand people being like, look, this isn't a real company, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I know we're being expected to act like we're fucking Disney or like Amazon or whatever, but at the end of the day, we're not forcing people to like, you know, explode their bladders to work for us. So who's the monster here, really?
Yeah, well, that was the thing, and like there was stories in there about like they said like they didn't have any water when they were filming
Kickassia.
Kickassia or whatever it was. Apparently that was complete pish. They just said, guys, it might be worth bringing your own as well.
It
was
exactly,
it was stories like that, and it was like
don't make it a problem. Just
Lindsay Ellis had some hissy fit about,
took exception to the fact that she was made to bring her own water, as if
or it was like someone wouldn't do a coffee run for her or something like that, and she threw a wee hissy fit, and like they exaggerated that into like they left half the crew there while they went, you know, when they were finished filming, and they went to like Applebee's or, you know, some crap like that. So that's like they've just damaged a bunch of their own kind of credibility. So I think that's part of the reason why people are just like, there's probably right and wrong on both sides. I think it was just kind of a wash, and no one really cares anymore, which in some ways is a shame, because people are getting away with lousy stuff, but at the same time it's like, well, you know, you can't trust the people making the accusations either, so what can you do?
That's why we, believe it or not, our big company, 2,500 employees, we employed one person to be the business investigator for that whole company before realising that, like, she was like, no, look, the reason why you're constantly losing in court, like for like reasonably defensible accusations and stuff, is because you don't have like a robust process, and there's not enough people on this. You know, you can't expect however few people I think were available at the time to do this kind of work. And now there's, I mean, I could technically include myself, but really part of the team that actually deals with those kind of issues is like 4 or 5 now.
Yeah.
Which is still not a lot.
Because,
yeah,
like,
exactly. You need basically.
What if someone's on film?
Yeah, exactly. Aye.
I mean, that's why it should be at least 2. That's why I don't get these places that.
When we conduct any kind of interview like that, we always work in pairs, and I think that's right, because it quickly can become, oh well, it's your word against mine. I didn't say that, and try and challenge your credibility.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, people still do that, even though there was 2 of you in the room. They go, oh no, you two are just backing each other up, and you're like, well, maybe, but we're not really, you know, like bestest buddies just because we do this fucking dog shit horrible interviewing piece together.
Nah.
Not everything is a fucking conspiracy.
Jesus, Burgess.
Jesus. But aye, Doug and Rob, again I feel got away pretty unscathed.
I doubt they really did that much.
I feel like Santa Christ maybe touched a butt or two.
Oh, right.
While he was dressed up as Santa Christ.
See, what another one of the complaints they had in that document that annoyed me, right, is they were on about Doug being a shitty director, and I'm like, yeah, he is, but one of the things is they were like, he just wrote everyone like the nostalgia critic, and we would all say like, oh, but I wouldn't say it like that, and he said, like, oh, okay, well, I'll tell you what, we'll try it both ways and see which take I like. And it became a running gag because they just knew he was going to use the take where they do it like the nostalgia critic. It's like, right, but two things. Well, a few things. Number one, a lot of you just don't have any personality.
You were carbon copies of him.
Yeah, you all want to be the snarky intellectual one, even though none of you are that smart. Like that's all of your characters together. That's not that interesting. Number one. Number two, he wrote it, so
he knows how to kind of pitch his own jokes.
He's writing his jokes and sort of just having you say them. And number three, it's like, it's kind of like a case of fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. You know, like if you had an issue with that on Kickassia,
did you come back?
Fair enough, but when you come back for the second one and the third one,
I thought he would change.
You
knew what was happening.
If they brought it up with them, like, oh, I'd like to be part of it, but I don't want to be part of it if I'm sort of just saying your lines exactly like you. Like, what's the point of me being there? But no, every one of them was like, no, I want to be in it because like attention and clout and all that shit. But then,
because together,
yeah.
And I mean, it was ambitious, I think, to have that belief that a community of nerd reviewers could put together something like that. And I watched them all, so I mean, I wasn't the only one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was interesting at the time.
Yeah. It was a sum of the parts to some extent, but
Spoony was right after they made Kickassia. After they made Kickassia, he was like, listen, if we're going to do another one of these, we need to trim the numbers, because there was way too many people.
Aye.
Well, that wasn't his only feedback, but he was like, I think like we'd make a way better
him and
story, and it'd be funnier, and people would get more runtime and crap if we had fewer people involved in it. And I think he's totally right.
Yeah.
If they done it like, Cinema Snob, Nostalgia Critic, Spoony, maybe one or two others,
the sort of funniest of the bunch. And I mean, I'll
Lindsay, Ellis, and maybe one other, and give them all actual like a point in being there.
Exactly.
But no, the approach was let's cram fucking 20 more people in here that nobody's heard of. And
I quite like Film Brain.
Well, yeah, Film Brain's another one though, where that's nothing like his character.
No, exactly. But I quite liked his rewrite, where he's kind of.
Was that because he was actually funny?
Yeah,
he actually had a personality.
The whole joke was he was basically like.
I just wanted to be Doug's bitch.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. That's funny, and it's funny, and like gives you stuff to do in the story.
Yeah.
So like he was like giving Doug info when they were like plotting against him and shit like that. There's a point to it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, imagine if he'd been like, no, I wouldn't do that, because see, I'm a snarky British guy. It's like, so's fucking everybody in this film. Like, see when you're making like a team of X-Men, you go, right, let's have weather controlling powers, some laser eyes, some psychokinesis. That's pretty interesting. What else we got? Banshee, he can fly and sound. That's pretty. That's different. You don't just go like, he's 5 Wolverines.
5 Wolverines.
Yeah, just give me Wolverine 5 times.
That could well be the new Deadpool movie.
Change the colour palette of his costume. That's like, they were all just the same jokes and like.
I've heard the rumour that there is going to be like Wolverine variants. There's certainly Deadpool variants.
Oh, I've heard nothing about it, and I've deliberately kept it that way.
No, I'm not ruining anything either. These might all be false, like rumours planted specifically to kind of cover up the truth.
Thingamabobber. Yeah, the Channel Awesome movies are atrocious. Kickassia has a certain.
It wasn't Lindsay Ellis who had the problem, was it? It was Mars Girl.
She had a problem. What problem are you speaking of?
No, the whole expose document. That wasn't like.
Lindsay Ellis had a part in it. Yeah,
she was a part in it. Okay,
yeah.
fair enough. Actually, I didn't think she was a contributor essentially to it. I thought like
No, she was, but her stuff was petty, and then apparently got outed as being
petty.
even pettier than, you know.
What was written down?
Yeah, than what she
Gaty
alleged.
Flock. Oh, he's trying to kick my ass.
Lindsay Ellis a fucking boot anyway. She's one of those people where she'll say something stupid or do something stupid and then just
missed him completely.
pure weaponise her Twitter followers to abuse anyone that criticises her. She's a cow.
Oh nice, no I got him. I got Kizaru. Fuck, I didn't even know you were there. Take that, light man. I'll kick your ass. What? Why did it use everyone's pick? At least I killed Fujitora. Fucking hell, something like that. Don't know how I'm punching light, but whatever. Doesn't have to make sense. A rubber man punches a guy made of light. There you go. You see that every day.
Do you remember that fat guy Lord Cat?
Kind of, yeah. Was he not the one who was bitching about Joe Vargas? Yeah, Joe Vargas.
Joe and Spoony.
He wasn't implicated in it, was he?
No, he got me too'd.
Did he?
Joe Vargas, although I don't know what happened with that because he denied everything. He said it's all pish. And I don't know if there's been anything more about it. It was like a year ago or something. So surely there's been an update. I don't know what happened though. But he was like, no, not a word of it's true. He wasn't like, this is a misconstrued thing. He was like, I've never even met her type of thing. So
fair enough.
So I don't know. I know he was Lord Cat was the fat guy and he reviewed games.
Aye, he was the one who bitched about Joe. No, but he bitched about Joe and Spoony.
Yeah, that guy.
EA or something, didn't they? Not.
Someone made a point that
E3, sorry.
Aye, someone made a point I've been thinking about. Is he was on about? I had the chance to interview like Hutch or not Hutch. What's the guy that developed Minecraft? And it was like when Minecraft was massive. So, see, to be fair, it would have been. It would have been good, but he's on about like. Oh, they stole that from me, and if it hadn't been for that, I'd be like
somebody.
Yeah, exactly. And it was kind of like, mate, like I get what you're saying, but at the same time,
it was a big opportunity. But
you had all these other opportunities, like you were in the Channel Awesome films and stuff like that. Your numbers, as far as like who watched your videos, they didn't go up once, or they'll have went up by about 10 people, and they went, nah, this guy's boring. So it's the same thing. It's sour grapes because you just weren't very good at what you did, and you weren't that funny or interesting, or
it's a real challenge to produce. Most artists, it's an 80-20 thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how many songs Taylor Swift's written, but like only 20% of them are hits. And it's the same for a lot of other artists. I actually think the Nostalgia Critic does really well for the level of consistency he had, because I would be consistently, I would say, entertained by Nostalgia Critic stuff. And he probably brought in most of the revenue for that channel.
Well, that's the thing is, one of the problems they had with it is he was always on the front page, and other people wanted that spot. Like, that guy with the glasses really was a really terribly designed site. I don't know if you remember it. Do you remember it was like, there'd be a thing and it would slide over. Like, that was like the front page, and people complained like, it was always dog stuff that was on it, and it's like, again, I take the point, but it's also like, you guys were shite. Like, nobody went there for freaking the Rap Critic.
Oh God, aye.
They went there for Doug, and it was like,
occasionally you would indulge your sort of, I don't know.
And didn't he do crossovers with everyone who ever asked him?
Probably,
Didn't he have cameos in freaking everybody's videos at some point? Like, he was.
He worked hard enough.
How many characters did he play in Atop the Fourth Wall, the movie?
The
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Like, he did. Again, I take the point that like, that could have been used to promote my videos, but say you're, I don't know, you go on Spotify, they're promoting Green Day's new album. Well, that's because Green Day are popular. Mm-hmm. And then if you listen to a Green Day song and then you go onto like their radio, it will play you Bad Nerves or somebody you maybe haven't heard of.
Aye.
It will mix that in.
Exactly. Aye.
So that's kind of the thing as well. Is like, it'd be the homepage. It'd be like Doug's new video, Rap Critic's new video, Spoony's new video, Doug's other new video, Linkara's new video. guys you've heard on there and one person you completely haven't. Like, I understand their logic. I'm not saying they executed it perfectly, but it's kind of that thing of like, well, I made this review, like, why am I not, like, front page? It's like, because no one, you know, they can see the figures, they can see the clicks per minute and all that pish. I can't. But I guarantee that the new Nostalgia Critic, people see it and click on it. Because when they see, like, the new Rap Critic, they go, who the fuck's that? They don't care. If anything, they click off of the website. You know, because again, they know all the traffic and all that shit. So.
I mean, I wouldn't even be convinced they were looking at it in that much detail, but
well, I think that's actually a fair.
This...
I think that's fair feedback as well. But I'm just saying that's.
But no, I think that is the facts, though. Is that he was
Spoony, because Spoony talked about it. He was like, no one. According to that guy with the glasses numbers, no one watched the shit. But that's because they went and watched it on his own website.
Yeah.
So his numbers were actually like way better than.
It's that false almost statistic.
Oh,
no one watches me when I'm on your channel, but you're like, yeah, but how much more traffic did you get on your own channel?
Yeah.
His channel.
Yeah, because they would say stuff. I mean, I'm just
organised as well.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even know if it still exists.
I'm just using the example now of like, say, Rap Critic. When his videos were on that guy with the glasses.com was getting like 1,000 views. He's saying like, oh well, like why are they not promoting me more? It's like, but mate, on your own YouTube channel, you're getting 50 views type of thing. You're getting, so you're actually benefiting from.
Exactly.
I hate that whole trickle down economy idea, but it's sort of on the same sort of lines as people go to the website to watch Doug, and then they laugh, and then yours is underneath recommended. Like, it's helping you out more than, it's better than nothing.
You're trying to
you're making it as if like,
on his name rather than. Well, the alternative is you don't get to be economising at all on it.
Yeah, exactly. You'd upload it to your YouTube channel and get 50 views.
Well, and again, you can grind and build up the network naturally over time, but the whole point is that Doug had kind of gone viral with sort of his reviews. So take advantage of it, you know what I mean? He was kind of like, I'm happy to let people ride on my coattails because I pretty much jumped on James Rolfe's.
Yeah, because he was riding Jimmy Rolfe's, so...
You know, the whole call out, the nerd!
Exactly, so...
That was just a whole bit, wasn't it?
I go back to my point, that didn't he do cameos for everybody pretty much who ever asked him, like, you know... I think a lot of it was just kind of sour grapes, and... stuff. And that fat fuck Lord Cat as well. He said apparently there's a website called Kiwi Farms. I don't really know what it's about, but I think it's just internet drama basically.
Okay.
And he basically confirmed that when the change the channel document went out, he was on there and he was just anonymously confirming like every negative story about them. Because there was a story about Spoony and Doug fell out on the set of Kickassia and wouldn't speak to each other for days because Spoony accidentally ripped his M. Bison cape. You know, Nostalgia Critic's M. Bison cape he wears. Yeah. But apparently that was just bollocks, and Lord Cat like either made it up or someone else made it up, and he was like, no, that was true. That was
it Lord Cat who made it up? Oh,
well, he either made it up or saw it and he confirmed that it was true, even though it wasn't.
Right.
You know,
okay.
So that's another thing.
Was fanning the flames, basically.
Yeah.
That's so petty.
Exactly.
And in many ways, there's a guy called Grant Cardone who I think is a prick, right? But he makes the point that when you start to get big, like, you will create enemies and you will have problems, and he's like, see if you're not generating problems for yourself, he's like, you're kind of not doing enough. Said your biggest risk is basically not being known, you know, being like suffering from anonymity.
Yeah, because you're getting nothing.
Yeah, where he's like, bad publicity is like, yeah, it's not ideal, but it's better than most people end up with, which is just, let's say, anonymity. And that sort of entertainment business. And it's a bit different for him because he's a, he's a real estate guy, but his principle's kind of the same. He's like, yeah, if people go to another real estate organisation, that's sales I'm losing. So he's like, I need to be well known as, like, you know, the guy, the real estate guy, if for nothing else. So it's like, okay, I take your point. So he does everything he can to be, like, well known.
I mean, I've talked to people about it, I can't stand in MMA when someone wins a fight and they go, who do you want to fight next? And they go, whoever the UFC wants to put in front of me. Shut the fuck up. Nobody wants to hear that. You look down the camera and you go, Conor McGregor, you're taking everything I've worked for. And it's like, start asking for stuff you're not going to get, right? You go, you've had one fight in the organisation, you go, I want the belt. You're not going to get the belt, but you ask for the belt, you might get a top 10 guy. It's that type of thing. And if people go like, oh, that's so arrogant, him asking for it.
Over lines.
People are at least talking about you. So the next day, like there's 14 other guys on the card, and nobody's talking about any of them because it's like.
Well, they're throwing opportunities at anyone who has like a modicum of fame these days. Like Huck 2 Girl already has like a reality TV show. Do you know who Huck 2 Girl is?
I've heard of her.
You've heard of the meme?
Yeah.
Aye.
Was she on the news or something like that?
No, she was interviewed in one of these, like one of these dicks who basically interview women and go, oh, what does it mean to pleasure a man, and puts them on the spot. And she went,
those freaks.
And she basically goes, well, you just got to huck two and spit on that thing.
Oh, right, is that what she was saying?
And that was it. That is it. And she's been on TV, she's been interviewed, she's been given a reality TV show and all this just because she said one.
Is she hot?
Kind of.
That's probably half
She's
of
sort
it.
of trashy hot.
Yeah.
But aye, so it's again she just went viral, and I mean it's that fleeting fame where they're literally like videos, song parodies, you know what I mean, like everything and anything that you can get from a single small clip, they've just made. Go on, guys, open the gates so I can come in and kick your ass. Right, come on. Is that the gates open? Open the gates, 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 open the gates.
Shut the gates. Oofed. Oh, that pacifista's coming at. Oh, he's coming at you as well.
About to get jabbed. Gear secondo.
What was the nostalgia critic you said was worth watching? Was it Suicide Squad or something like that?
Suicide Squad's really good, yeah.
I'll give that a bash. I'm in the mood. That's one of the clipless ones, isn't it? Where
yes,
they sort of act out.
where they act it out, yeah. Have you seen like Suicide Squad for a while? Like, can you remember the sort of
I remember
plot?
the plot, but I haven't seen it before. I think I only saw it in the cinema. I don't think I've seen it since. And then I watched the deleted Joker scenes, which were shit.
Yeah. There's no other way to kind of describe them, is it? They were just bad.
Like the scenes that were actually in the theatrical cut, I was like, oh, that's not bad. I'd be interested to see more. Then I saw the extended scenes that they cut, and I was like, no, those were fucking terrible. But anyway, yeah. How long is it?
Maybe about an hour.
FS, man.
It's just background noise.
Ain't nobody got time for that. No, I'll give that a bash then. Why not?
Aye. I don't even really know why I kind of stopped watching like Nostalgia Critic.
No, it's just... He doesn't even have rules really anymore. He'll just review anything now.
Yeah. I think when he did Spider-Man No Way Home, yeah.
I think what my thing is... I think I already was kind of getting out of it when they did To Boldly Flee. But I think I'd sort of moved on to Spoony at that point. But anyway, yeah, I think...
I'm going to check.
So, like, if you...
Spoony's website still a thing.
I'm sure it is still up. He did.
Like, if he actually
He did an interview a year ago saying he's going to get back to it soon, and that was a year ago, and he still hasn't. So, Spoony's a dirtbag, man. Fuck him.
It looks funny. Get back here.
The thingamabobber.
Oh, well. I think I'm in the safe zone.
Yeah, like.
No, I wasn't.
But now, Nostalgia Critic, I couldn't even. What am I trying to say here? It's not even necessarily nostalgic stuff. Like, I don't even know what I'd be kind of in for if I watched one of his videos. Like, Matrix Month I thought was good. God, that was probably about 8 years ago now or something. But
yeah.
Matrix Month I thought was good. Yeah. I could click on his channel, he might be reviewing something that's at the cinemas now, and I'm a bit like, right, I don't really... that's not what I came here for, if that makes sense.
But he's normally... Like, he'll separate out recent movies. he does like a weird, like, kind of dedicated review for recent stuff. Get him. No, he doesn't want it. Doesn't want the pain.
Don't want the smoke.
See, I was standing in a safe zone, I thought, last time.
I thought you were, but maybe you're ever so slightly over.
Get back to it. It's going to die. Stop it.
Oh, have I told you about my man LTG as well?
Oh, I was going to ask you, before you get on to him, do you know about this scouse in the MMA who is basically like BBC One like show?
Aye, Paddy Pimblett.
Paddy, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's doing a BBC like show now,
God,
reality TV show with a female UFC fighter whose name escapes me for
Molly McCann, I think she's called.
Yeah.
She's shite anyway.
But I was wondering if you were aware of them. And again, that's what I'm saying about personality sometimes rather than like actual. Is he a big deal in the fighting world? Is he kind of setting the world on fire?
I not. He won at the weekend just there, and it was a good win. Although people are calling it a fix actually because Bobby Green basically gave him his neck and went choke me.
And he did.
I don't think. I just think Bobby Green's shite, but you know, I don't think it was a fix. I just think he was pish. I think it's both. He is good, but he's not anywhere near as good as they're trying to make him out to be.
Right.
He got leathered in his second fight in the UFC, and the judges just gave him it anyway.
What?
And like they've uploaded that fight on YouTube now, and all the comments are hilarious. They're like, I thought they were trying to make Paddy look good, you know, stuff like that. It's like, what a great promotion this is for Luigi or whatever his opponent was called, because he like it's not even close. He like clearly loses every round. And I don't like him because see Conor McGregor. He was like, I see why Neds would like him. Like he says like, oh, shut your fucking mouth and all that. But at the same time, he was like sharp and like snappy, and he did have some like clever lines and stuff like that. Whereas Paddy Pimblett's just like lowest common denominator, sort of like. They think UFC's the sport, not like the promotion type of like they still call it cage fighting. You know, like your drunk uncle would like Paddy Pimblett type of thing. Like I just don't like him. I just think he's a fucking idiot. And like his trash talk is just like shut your mouth or smash your face in, lad. You know, it's not. There's nothing clever. There's no like funny patter in there. It's just
not an original put down.
Smash your face in, lad. It's just shite. He just sort of like does this with his hand. I don't get it in the slightest. I think he's an absolute rocket, man. He's a fucking goon.
Who was the other guy you were going to talk about?
Low tier god. Oh, we'll need to get in him another time.
Fair enough.
There's too much lore.
Smash it.
All S's.
That was not even 28 minutes.
やってくれるじゃねえか。まあいい。ガチはお前らに譲ってやる。ミンゴ、待てー。藤虎。四皇黒ひげと同盟を結んだドフラミンゴは今や海軍の標的。手出し無用にねげやす。
サボ、こいつらが 俺の仲間なんだ。こいつは。
いや悪い。俺はそろそろ行かなくちゃならねえ。
もう行っちまうのかよ。
俺にはやり残してることがある。何？またすぐにどこかで会えるさ。お前らルフィはいいやつだろ。昔と全然変わらねえ。出来の悪い弟を持つと兄貴は心配なんだ。お前らもこいつには手焼くだろうがよろしく頼むよ。
サボまただ。サボ
あいついい仲間を見つけたな。お前もそう思うだろう、エース。
麦わら屋、俺の目的は果たした。同盟は終わりだ。
分かった。じゃあトラオ、カイドウってやつをぶっ飛ばしに行くぞ。
お前には借りもできたしな。麦わら屋、いいだろう。もう少しだけ付き合ってやる。
よーし、待ってろ四皇、待ってろシャンクス。海賊王に俺はなる。
俺の大切な帽子だ。いつかきっと返しに来い。立派な海賊になってな。待ってるぞルフィ。